Okay, sorry, bit of an interruption there. Okay, so I was talking about stationery. So the other thing that I have done is ordered some stationery, some journals, mostly for tarot. Actually, all for tarot, really. Lenormand and Sibylla as well, but that kind of thing. So I ordered a few things. This one I'm really excited about. So it says Stark, right? And on the back, winter is coming. So I don't know, it's not huge, it's about 100 pages or so, but we've got the lined pages. Is there one on the back? Map of Westeros. Love it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be using this one for specifically just yet, but I love it. Okay, I got a couple of other journals. This one was cool. So the star, and then on the back it's just plain. This one I ordered from just plain lined paper. This one I ordered from Book Depository, and at the same time I ordered this one, which I thought was really cool. And this is the sun with the little doll, the noose, the dead sunflowers. Yeah, they're dead sunflowers. So looking forward to using that one as well. The same order, I got another little journal. This one is edged in gold. And again, it's just plain lined paper. And this one I loved. It's cute. Just a little lady drinking her espresso. Same thing, edged in gold, just lined. And then I got some larger ones. So this is just like a plain composition notebook. And I ordered 4 of these things. I had plans. What I had been thinking about was using these for my in-depth deck study. So I want to do an in-depth deck study on the Robert M. Place deck that I have, as well as a couple of other decks, and one new one that I'm expecting that's already 2 weeks late. And I thought that once I was done with all of them, I would actually sort of bind them together, put them together on my shelf. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I won't do that. And then I got 2 other ones, fairly large. Again, they're sketchbooks, so no, they're just plain paper. And I got a pink one as well. So I love those. And I'm thinking that these are going to be, again, either for the deck study or my weekly readings. I'm not 100% sure. Guys, I just love collecting. I just love collecting paper and notebooks. And then my problem is that then I start writing something in, and then I'm like, well, here's another one actually I started using. So this one is actually, not gonna be able to tell, but it's embroidered. It's embroidered paper. Can you see like the little stitching? And the gold. So the gold and then the blue outlines are all stitched. So I thought that was very cool. Again, it's just lined paper, but I'm using this one to track my exercise program because I did start an exercise program this past month. Well, yeah, so I don't think it's been fully a month. Actually, yes, it has been a month because I started it once I started feeling better and I could actually breathe properly. So it's been a month now, and I just find that tracking things helps me to keep motivated. So that's what I'm using that for. That's it for the paper. Holy sugar, this has been a really long video. I'm really sorry. I mean, I've shown you the decks that I purchased for the most part, other than the beautiful creatures, which is somewhere in this crazy mess that I have around me. And I've sort of shown you the modifications that I've done to the different decks as I was showing you the decks. I've shown you the books, and I've shown you my little boxes that I made. Oh yeah, so that's what I was going to say. If you know what I can do to fix those boxes so that the washi tape doesn't just keep coming off, please let me know. Either leave me a comment down below or send me an email or something. I would really appreciate that, because yeah, it would be a shame to have to stop using them. I like putting my so I like figuring out, okay, you know, which decks am I going to use for what purpose. So I have been doing a couple of different, 2 or 3 different challenges in Instagram challenges, and I like to use a deck specific for each one of those challenges, and a specific deck for my weekly readings and a specific deck for my daily readings. So I like organizing them into each one of those things into a separate box, and then the boxes can be all stacked on my desk, and it looks all nice and pretty and organized, as opposed to the giant disaster that I have right now on my desk. So yeah, so that's, you know, I would really love to be able to use those. So if you have any ideas, I don't know if I just put clear tape over top or what, but if you do have any ideas, I'd love to hear. Please let me know. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to what am I planning in May in terms of my tarot. I'm going to continue with my Tarot de Marseille studies and my ancient Italian deck studies. Yeah, I'm going to just continue because I didn't get nearly as far as I would have liked over the past 2 months. I mean, time. Let's be honest. I'm working full time, and I suffer from chronic migraines, and I've started an exercise program, and I have a family, and all this stuff. So time is limited, right? So I do what I can, and you know, so I'm going to continue with that. I'm going to continue with my daily and weekly reads, and I'm going to continue. Like, I failed big time at the Instagram challenges for last month. I think I got, you know, maybe a week or so in, and then I just didn't get to it. So, but the challenges that I'm doing I actually really like, so I'm gonna continue through those, even though I'm a month behind, or even though they're for the wrong month, I guess. So I'm gonna keep doing those, and this video is very long, so I'm not gonna go through each one of those, but there's one on imposter syndrome, which is something that I do find I personally struggle with. So that one I'm definitely going to be doing. And then there's another one on self-care, and I forget what the third one is. I think it's called The Real Deal. I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm going to continue doing those, and I'm going to switch some decks around that I've been using. So I was using my Mermaid Tarot. I used to actually have it on my desk here. My Mermaid Tarot is amazing. Let me tell you, if you don't have that deck, okay, squirrel. Distractions. Okay. This deck is amazing. And upside down. And right side up. Okay. I have done a whole bunch of readings with this deck, like a lot of readings in the month of April with this deck, and both for myself and for others. So I've been trying to do some more readings for other people, to get some more feedback and to continue to learn and whatnot. And every reading I've done with this deck has been spot on. Like, people have said to me, like, holy crap, you hit the nail right on the head for these reasons. So I love it. So I think it's going to stay on, I think that one is going to stay on my desk, but I think the one that I'm going to retire for the month is my Dame Darcy deck. I've been using that one as well, but I think I'm going to give that one a break. I'm going to bring in some other ones, and I haven't decided which ones yet for sure. I'm going to do some shadow work. I'm going to start some shadow work up again, and for that I'm going to use my Joie de Vivre. Can't find where the box is right now. I'm going to use my Joie de Vivre deck because I think I've not used that one before for shadow work. Everything's falling here. This is what the backs look like. But I think the artwork lends itself well to that. And I'm probably going to alternate between this and my Tarot de l'Ennemi. I don't know what it is about that deck, guys. I know it was my first deck, and maybe that has something to do with it. But I just find it works for me. And then I've been doing my weekly readings, my daily readings with my 1JJ Swiss. Love this deck. Okay. So I'm gonna do that kind of thing. I'm gonna make a few more pouches for things. I don't know what other decks I'm gonna use just yet. I have to figure that out at some point soon. And other than that, I am going to move to the second part of my crafting corner. So I'm going to show some of the things that I have made because I did get asked for that. So if you're not interested in yarn, in spinning, in pretty colors, in knitting, then I'll say goodbye now. But thank you very much for spending time with me. I know it's been a really long one, but I was catching up on 2 months. So thanks again. And for the rest of us, let's continue on. Okay, so I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about my spinning first. Okay. I completely lost my mojo for knitting and spinning for over a year. So I didn't do a single thing. And then I slowly started to spin again. So this yarn is by Zenitude Fiber Arts. And it's Merino Tencel. Okay, so if you're not sure what spinning is, it's basically taking fiber like this. So this one happens to be top. So it's, you get the fleece from the sheep or whatever, and then they use a machine to, they clean it, they wash it, they do all the stuff that they need to do. And then they use a machine to comb it so that all of the fibers are going in one direction. It can come in different ways as well. It can come just like this as well. This is baby doll stuff down. But this is just basically like, right, a very short fleece. So if I were to take one lock So here's the tip, right? So this is what you would see on the sheep, like the very outside. And then this would be the side that was cut. So that against the sheep's skin, right? So we're basically taking this, cleaning it, and then turning it, and then dyeing it, of course, because as far as I know, we don't have blue and purple and orange sheep. They dye it, and then I take that and I make yarn out of it. Now, why do I do that? Because I like to. It is not cheaper than buying your own yarn by any stretch of the imagination, even if you're just talking about the fiber itself. I could definitely buy yarn. This is one of the things. Actually, I hear this about tarot reading as well, but this one is bamboo and tencel. It's like super soft. I wish the colors are beautiful. This is where I wish like smell-o-vision and feel-o-vision was actually a thing, because oh my god, it's so nice. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. And actually, now that I think about it, I didn't even measure how much I have, so I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Maybe a hat or something. We'll see. But so that was one. And then I showed you guys in my last video the yarn that was still on the bobbin. Well, I finished it, washed it, and put it together, and this is what I have. So it's a huge mishmash of things, of colors, sorry, and fibers actually, because there's everything from merino to well, you name it, it's in here, because it was just all the little samples that you get when you buy the fiber. And so I spun them all together, and this is enough to make a sweater, more than a sweater actually for me. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do with this is, and actually, so I have two of them. I think this one's about 1,500 yards, so a sweater and a half. A sweater for me and a kid. So all different colors. What am I going to do with it? So this is where we go into one of my whips, my works in progress. I'm making a blanket. Right now it's a very small box, a very small blanket. But this is, I basically take my little minis, right? So I have minis like this, and I go for as long or as little as I feel like. I love this gradient. And I think this is going to be amazing with it, because I don't have to worry about dealing with all these little balls. I will have one gigantic ball, and I can just keep, actually two gigantic balls, and I could just keep knitting and knitting and knitting. So there you go. So that shows you a work in progress and a completed item at the same time. This here I haven't, so this I didn't make this. I bought this. This is by Dragon Strings Studio, and guys, I love, okay, one of the things that draws me, well, first of all, just like amazing colors, right? Like I love color, and some indie, so this is an indie, Dragon Strings is an indie dyer, and I love it so much. But the other thing that draws me sometimes is just the names. So this one is called Dirty Hippie. Guys, Dirty Hippie. So this is going to be a pair of socks. I think that's going to be my next cast on after I finish a couple of pairs of socks that I have on the needles already. So let me show you one of them because I also adore the yarn for that one. Can you see the sparkle? So that's the yarn. It is sparkly. I love it. Do I have the label? I don't have the label, so I can't remember if I got that at some festival. Anyways, and this is what it looks like knit up for me. So starting to look like a sock. I just turn the heel, right? So this is the foot. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Oh. What's happened is I've dropped a whole bunch of stitches. So good to see what's going on there. Anyway, so there we go. So there's the foot, and I just have to do the leg after I fix whatever the heck is going on with that foot. And I have one more. This one is a blue and green. It's a gradient. So it is a gradient. It starts with blue and it goes to, it starts with the green, it goes to a darker blue, and then eventually to a lighter blue. And these ones I'm doing top down, so this is just the cuff. Okay, one of the questions I get a lot is, why do you make your own socks? Why do you make your own socks? Isn't it cheaper to buy socks? And to that I respond, if you have to ask that question, you've never worn a pair of hand-knit socks. Hand-knit socks are like a hug for your foot. My husband one day, so when I first started knitting, I asked him if he wanted me to make something. I would like to make something for him. And he was always like, no, I'm gonna buy my own sock. I can buy whatever, don't waste your time. And then one year I actually made him a hat, for a winter hat, and I made him a pair of socks for Christmas. And he keeps asking me now to make him more socks and hats because he's realized just how much of a difference, how much warmer they are. I mean, we live in a very cold climate, let's face it. And how much warmer they are, how much more durable they are. I've been knitting socks now for about 8 years, and I don't have a single one that has worn a hole in it or even really worn through. So, and I wear them every day. Whereas store-bought socks, I'm lucky to get a few weeks out of them at the most, and I don't lose them. Okay, so a few other things I will show you. This looks like a very large hat. So this actually is from yarn that I spun. So I spun the yarn. It has camel in it as well. And camel and silk and some other things. Love it. And I made a matching actually matching mitts with it, which I love. So the other thing is with hand knit, well, with any hand knits really, but especially with especially with mitts, one of my problems is that like my hands are fairly small and most things are too big. And mitts, I can't do anything with, I don't know if this is called a glove or a mitt. I always get those mixed up. But when you're making it for yourself, same thing goes for socks. But when you're making it for yourself, you can make it, you tailor it to your particular size. So I made a small, I wouldn't call it a poncho. It's kind of like a shawl, but it stays on your neck, obviously, to keep you warm. So one of the things is, for me, I really like to have something around my neck to keep me warm. It does help with the migraines. And this is another one that I did make. I like it. You know, if you're wearing a dress shirt or something, it looks very nice. It's the parade. I made a poncho. Okay, can I show you the, there we go. So this is the outside edge. This is the part that opens up, and your head fits in here. So your head fits here. This is over your shoulder, and it has a pair of matching arm warmers as well, which I sometimes wear. Both the shawls and this, and the arm warmers, I sometimes wear at the office in the winter time because my office is often too cold or too hot, and so having something like this against you that you could just, like, you know, just pull it off, helps a tremendous amount. I don't know if anybody here has shawls, but how I keep them is I roll them up so that I don't get creases in them. This one I was super proud of because it has a beautiful edging. And then even in the body, I love it. So again, like, it's very long and narrow, so that when you have it on, you know, I'm not styling it right now, but when you have it on, it doesn't cover your entire front, which is nice. I have cowls for the winter as well. Which is cool. I'm a sucker for sparkly, if you can't tell already. This is a very small shawlette. Nice for the spring. Just something very light. Another hat. This one's for my son. A little beanie. He loves it. Hat with a pom-pom. Love it. Okay, so if anyone, if you guys are knitters or crocheters or whatever, and you're curious as to the any of the names for these patterns, let me know, and I can or you can go on Ravelry if you don't know Ravelry, Ravelry.com, and it's actually it's a great place where you can log this kind of stuff and figure out what you're doing. So this is another shawl. This one's very long. I love wearing this one in the summer. It's beautiful. Has a little picot edge. The yarn is, oh, I love it so indigo dragonfly indie yarn. And I also knit sweaters, and I have to turn this one inside out because I washed it. I washed my sweaters inside out. Okay. This is one of my favorite things to wear ever, and I've made 2 of these, and I want to make another one. Easiest sweater ever to make. And this one again is yarn. So this is Targhee. And this is yarn that I spun. So I had colored fiber, which was in this form. Oh no, actually it wasn't. It was bats. It was bats that I had someone dye for me because I didn't have any dyeing equipment at the time. And so I spun it, and I had a pound of it. Took me a while. And then this is how it came, because the colors, of course, like it's hand dyed, so it wasn't in small batches. And so it's slightly variegated, I guess you'd call this, but just has a little, like, this is very small, like very small roll on your neck, but it does have a drawstring. And again, I modified it, as you can see there, for my hips. I love this sweater so much. It's the coziest thing, and it's light as a feather. Okay, so if you take well, even my hoodie probably weighs 4 times as much as this. I spun it. You can see it looks a little bit, you know, not thick and thin, that's not the right word. It doesn't look like this, right? This is, obviously this was sock yarn, but it's spun in a way that it's super dense and smooth. This is not smooth because I spun it purposely this way. So I spun it, can't think of what the word is. Long draw. Spinners are probably yelling at me right now. But it's super light and airy and fluffy, and I wanted it to be light because I get cold, but I also get really hot, so I didn't want it to be super dense and very heavy. So it's not. It's very light. Anyway, that's it. One more thing I wanted to show. And this, actually, maybe I should have put this at the beginning, because this is where spinning and tarot and the woo-woo sort of go together. So I did show you the last time I showed you my electric spinner. I have a ladybug spinning wheel as well, which I use. I have upstairs. I'm spinning a fleece to make a blanket, but I also love to hand spin, and I have so you see the word burned. So these are handmade by a company called Bristlecone. That's one. And these are called goddesses, actually. Goddess spindles. They're gorgeous. Here's another one. This one was for the year of the horse. This comes with it, actually, so I've not taken it off. I just leave that on and spin on top. Anyway, so you know, you can't do this on my hand right now, but I would normally be in a bowl. Anyway, so I do, I love supported spindling more than drop spindling by far. I can do it while I'm lying down, which is awesome. So when I really struggled with my migraines, you know, I get bored out of my mind, right? I'm lying down, I can't do anything other than lie down in the dark, and I can spin. I can't read, I can't look at a screen, but I can spin, and I can spin lying down. I'm getting a little bit of exercise because my arm is like constantly doing this, right? And I'm constantly spinning. And so I can at least do something. So these ones, actually, I have a whole bunch. Actually, this one here is a mini, you can see. They're called, as I said, they're called goddesses. And that's why I say that it sort of goes with the woo-woo aspect of it. But I'm probably going to end up selling some of these because I don't spin as much as I used to. And that's not nearly all of the ones that I have. So if you're curious, if you're still sticking around and you haven't spun, you're just here for the tarot, this is what it looks like when the yarn is on it. Okay, so this is just a mix of like Pagora. Can't remember exactly the fiber. I have to find the other bit. I haven't taken this off just because it's impossible. Like, it looks like a mess because it just is. And I was practicing not spinning super smooth and clean. So this was like a real stretch for me to have to do. But anyway, so this is what it looks like, you know, regardless of what the shape is, this is what it would look like. This one here is a Glendale, and oh, there we go. I could slide that up. There's a G on it. So it's made by the same company, Bristlecone. So this is glass. Does it not look like a wand, guys? Right? Does it not look like a wand? It's cool, eh? Anyway, so it's it's handmade, hand blown. So the husband makes these. The wife does the goddesses and the wood burning. And this one is Gryffindor, because I like to think that I would be a Gryffindor. That one I'm definitely keeping. But I have a couple more. I need a little like condoms for them. Here's another one. Doesn't have any yarn on it. And this one, there we go. You can kind of see it there. The pop of color in there. So there's another Glendale. These are very hard to come by these days, and because I don't think they're making anymore, which is really too bad. And this is the first one that I ever got from them. And I forget what it's called, but it's like, it's very cool to see this. To see this when it's spinning. Like, I like to watch the glass. It looks very cool. Kind of psychedelic. Anyway, I'm going to be selling these too, and some of the goddesses, just because I can't even show you. I have so many in here. Some Russian style spindles. I have a whole bunch of them. And all the yarn in those two giant, like what I showed you that was on the bobbin of my electric spinner, that was just plying it together, but all the singles were spun by hand on these. So each of these is each of these two yarn babies is 2-ply, and so I use the electric spinner to ply them together, but I spun each single on my spindles here. Anyway, it's a different style. It's pretty little ladies on there. And when I do, which I haven't for quite a while, when I do spin, drop spin link, I use this. So there's a hook here, and it's called drop spindling because you're actually suspending it from the top, and so it can drop. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're a spinner anyway, so sorry. Anyway, so that's it. I've gone on for a very long time, and I'm gonna let you go because I'm sorry this has been so long. Maybe I'll put it out in two parts. I don't know. But I would love to hear what you've been working on, both tarot related and knitting or spinning. What you like to do, and what, if you're a knitter or a crocheter, I'd like to know what sorts of things you like to make. Because I know that we all have sort of niches. Some people are just sock knitters, some people are just sweater knitters or whatever, or other crafts, sewing, quilting, whatever. I'd love to hear it, love to see pictures. Leave me comments down below, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you're working on in the coming month. So until the next time, I hope you're all keeping safe and sane and healthy, and stay home, wash your hands. Bye.